Big game of the evening in Tuam Stadium in the Galway Senior Football Championship. Welcome on in to live coverage on Galway GAA of Claregalway and Mountbellew Moylough. Two sides, I'm sure, with ambitions to really go further in this year's championship and at the very least get out of the group. There was one game played in this group last night where St Michael's defeated Dunmore McHale's by 2-8 to 1-8, and the one team in the 5-team group not playing this weekend are Tuam Stars, and I'm sure there's plenty of their management and team officials here to keep an eye on Mountbellew Moylough and Claregalway to see how they get on. Let's start with Mountbellew Moylough, who've made a couple of late changes. Brian Noon wearing 18 and number 17 Sean Myland both come into the full back line. They'll be either side of Colin Murray, with the fullback Billy Mannion, who played for Galway against Armagh in the All-Ireland Championship in recent weeks, most likely to pop up in the half-forward line. In the half-back line, Colin Ryan and James Foley will most likely be flanked by Mark Mannion, who will go to centre-back wearing 2, and the man wearing 6, John Daly, is now going to be operating in the forward line for Mountbellew Moylough, where Leo Donlan and Barry McHugh in the corners are likely to provide most of the scores. At midfield, Matthew Barrett and Shane Moran are likely to be a pivotal part of this Mountbellew Moylough team, who've got plenty to call on the bench as well. The county champions from a couple of years ago hotly fancy to get off to a winning start this evening in Tuam Stadium. Looking at their opponents, Claregalway wearing their traditional green and gold. They are managed again by John Fitzmaurice, and again a couple of late changes here to the Claregalway side, including in the half-back line, where they bring in number 22 Killian Callahan. He'll be alongside Peter Dively, the centre-back, and the number 18 Jason Riley comes in as well to complete the trio. In the forward line, number 27 Jack Lonergan will line out alongside Brian Connolly and Barry Goldrick in an interesting looking selection, while in the full forward line, the number 17 Mark Rohan will join Conor Flaherty and Danny Cummins in an experienced looking front line. All in all, Claregalway will have it all to do today against Mountbellew Moylough, but they do have Flaherty, a former Galway goalkeeper who has been playing great stuff at club level in the full forward berth for the last 2 seasons. All in all, we're ready for what should be a really thrilling encounter here in Tuam Stadium, and we hope a far more thrilling encounter than the curtain raiser, which many had tipped up as being the game of the weekend between Salthill, Knocknacarra and Corofin. But Brian Donoghue, it was very much a one-sided game, to say the very least. Salthill looked disinterested. Corofin looked like they wanted to lay down a marker and make a statement, and I think they very much did.
Yeah, I think you summed it up there totally, Ollie. It was completely one-way traffic right from the off. Corofin just got off, I think, 2 goals in the first 5 or 6 minutes, was just put Salthill on the back foot. Never really recovered, and I think it took Salthill 40 minutes into the game to score from play. So they'll be very disappointed with that, but Corofin have laid down a marker. They're still extremely strong, and we'll probably be looking more than likely to top that group anyway at the moment. Yeah,
and who'd bet against them going even a lot further than that. But here in Tuam Stadium, it's Claregalway with it all to do, Brian. I mean, your own club, I suppose every team has their ambitions within a championship. First things first for probably 5 or 6 clubs is just to stay up. Then there are teams who are trying to ensure that maybe they make the knockout stages and their ambitions really won't go beyond that. And then there's teams like Mountbellew that you identified before the start here are definitely one of the big 4.
Absolutely, yeah. You can put them in the same bracket with Corofin, Salthill and Mike Cullen as well. They've assembled a fantastic team over the last number of years, and more than likely if those 4 don't meet each other, they're going to see them in the semi-final. And with the competition being down to 16 teams and getting tighter and tighter every year, it's certainly going to make every team needs to go for it. You can't just really sit back at all, but it'll be interesting to see how things go here now for this game.
It sure will, and of course it is a 5-team group, so Tuam Stars are the ones who have the weekend off, and I'm sure they'll be here keeping a close eye on what goes on as well, because I'm sure Tuam and Mountbellew will be the big fixture when that crops up later on in the championship, but it may be academic if both of them go through. But I'm sure teams are still looking to top the group, Brian, because you got to be thinking in a quarter final. I mean, the downside to Salthill's heavy defeat to Corofin is they're now looking at best probably a runner-up spot in the group, or maybe even a 3rd place, and then that brings the likes of Mike Cullen into play in a quarter final.
Yeah, and that's certainly what Salthill would not want to do, and probably it's going to make it difficult when there's 3 groups in there as well. But it's extremely needy to get off to a very good start. Probably because most of the teams have been out with intra-county players. Salthill just looked a bit flat. They looked like they hadn't played together. Definitely top the group. Probably be looking at this group at Mountbellew maybe / Tuam Claregalway second, but we'll see how things are going to go.
that Mountbellew Moylough Tuam Stars game is the last round of fixtures. Next up for both of these sides, Claregalway will meet Tuam and Mountbellew Moylough will meet St Michael's, who got off to a winning start last night here against Dunmore McHale. So I don't think it matters what club you are, Brian. Starting with the victory seems to be really important.
Oh, it's fantastic for momentum as well, because you're waiting just so long for the competition to kick off. You're watching Galway on television, and finally when they get better, you can't wait for the first round of championship. But here we go.
We're underway here in Tuam Stadium with the second of our senior championship fixtures, and already it's Mountbellew Moylough who gather possession and will look to try and get the ball forward. Picked up nicely in the centre forward channel by Paul Donlan, running down the left hand flank looking for support. He's got James Foley outside him, goes for an ambitious effort from distance.
Great score.
Oh, it's a super score. Over the bar. That beautiful curl on it, that meant he had total control over what he was doing.
Absolutely, Ollie. We got a fantastic look at it here as well. Just peach of a shot, right boot over the bar. Fantastic. Good start from Mountbellew.
Perfect start for
out.
the black and amber. Claregalway will be happy enough to have got their first kick out to hand. Of course, it's all the stats. The large figure of Conor Flaherty, such a physically imposing full forward, although he's holding his side in the aftermath of that shoulder. Austin O'Connell from Carlastrand is our match referee. He's keeping a close eye on proceedings here as well, as Claregalway look to try and keep the ball in play and work it up on this right hand touchline. Luke O'Connor, another fine young talent. I suppose we've been waiting, Brian, for the last couple of years for all of this underage talent from Claregalway to bear fruit at senior level. Do you think it's far away?
Well, I mean, the structure in the club at underage is absolutely fantastic, but it's going to take time to come through. And when we say come through, what do you mean? Like, to win a county title or to progress to that, it's a monumental achievement. I think looking at Mountbellew here, they won it in '86 and then they won it a couple of years ago in 21. So it's such a task even to get up to the top four teams that we mentioned already. But the progress in the club is excellent. There's some very good people there, and the players that produce in underage is very good as well. It's great to see.
Well, this is a Claregalway club that have produced All-Ireland winning under-14 Féile teams. Brilliant catch and a brilliant kick. And that time Barry McHugh, well...
There's no debate over that mark.
No, and I think there'll be talk about that famous mark at the end of the Connacht Club Championship final from a couple of years ago in Hyde Park forevermore. But Barry made great use of that, taps it over the bar. And I suppose a bit like Corofin, Brian, we are looking at, I suppose, the speed of play, the pace of play, and everyone talks about transition, how quickly Mountbellew can go from their half down to the full forward line in a matter of seconds. And one 60-metre kick pass there showed it can be done. Yeah,
and Sice did as well in the first game as well. But the speed and transition is probably what separates these four teams, or the four teams that we mentioned, against the rest, even at club level or into county level. But quick ball in there, probably 50-60 yard catch by McHugh, 50-60 yard ball in, catch over the bar, very simple and very nice to watch.
Here's another man who's worn the maroon and white to great effect over the years, Danny Cummins, although he won't like to see that one replayed. That was a poor kick pass and picked off comfortably by Mountbellew Moylough, who can now look to try and counter-attack. But Claregalway have bodies back. Of course, the first port of call for any team nowadays is defence. Claregalway no different, as they drive that one forward, although asking an awful lot from that kick pass by Darren Hennessy, as the ball is easily picked off by Conor Flaherty. Conor looking to try and burrow his way through a couple of Mountbellew players, but can't, and it's easily intercepted there by Leo Donlan. Again, turning around looking for support. He's got it in the shape of Colin Mannion. He's been in terrific form for the last couple of years. Great balance and poise to this Mountbellew forward. We've got plenty of size as well with Matthew Barrett. Been involved in the Galway panel as well for the last couple of seasons, and a man who's already got 1 point to his credit. But on that occasion, James Foley trying one off the left just wound up a little bit too long. It was really choreographed, and Claregalway had plenty of bodies to get back there and block that one down. Of course, their county star Jack Glynn wearing number 5. There's a little bit of a dangerous boot went in there from the full forward Conor Flaherty, and I think Conor has come off worse. He's taken a bang on the shin.
He went to put on the ball, Ollie, and Brian Noon there, who's starting cornerback, was extremely brave and went for it as well. He wasn't going to let the ball get past, and good start for young Noon there in the corner.
Yeah, that was one now that Conor really ought to have pulled out of, because he was never going to be in a position to win that ball. And I suppose you got to be thinking of the welfare of the other players, but he's come off worse himself. And Connor's had his injury problems, Brian, hasn't he, in the last 12 months?
He has, yeah, and his quad was at him there. I think he played for Galway in the league final against the Rossies in Croke Park for the Division 2 game and didn't feature after that. He came off, but he's an exceptionally talented player, very good hurler, very good footballer. He can read the play extremely well, and he has that ability. I think that when hurlers come and play Gaelic football at senior level, they seem to see things that Ramley football guys wouldn't see. But I think he's been in America from the summer. He's down probably a bit of lack of sharpness here now, but he doesn't look too good at the moment anyway.
No, and there was a sense that once he made contact, he was grasping his right shin with some pain, and this would be an enormous loss for Claregalway if they're to lose their talismanic full forward.
It'd be huge as well, because Claregalway are down Conor Campbell with his shoulder, and Jack Lynn is still in New York at the moment, with Nathan Granger. So I think to lose Conor now would be. He looks like he's getting up, but hopefully he can continue.
Yeah, and of course, Jack Lynn's uncle Jimmy is back from the United States for his usual trip to the Galway races. So I'm sure Jimmy is keeping an eye on this broadcast, as is Jack.
I hope Jack's not minding the pub.
He may well be over there in Chelsea and Manhattan and New York City. Jack, I'm sure, will be back for the next round for Claregalway, but what a great player he's been. Young Player of the Year. As Moylough look to build on their 2-point advantage. Only 2 scores on the board in the opening 6 minutes, and both of those gone to the men in black and amber. Mountbellew playing with a strong wind as well, Brian, so let's be fair, Claregalway will be happy enough if they can keep this to 5 or 6 points, because it's a significant wind advantage in the opening half. Absolutely,
we've seen it in the first half there as well. The scoring zone is probably just inside the D rather than outside it. It's very difficult wind, it looks like here anyway. The flags are blown, but not a bad start for Claregalway, but they just need to keep it going now for the moment.
Let's see how John Daly gets on with this strike. It's just out to the right hand side and wide. There was that dramatic momentary pause from the umpire before eventually he waved the arms to suggest that one was just out to the right hand side. And Claregalway, well, they will be happy enough with the opening minutes of this game. A lightning start from Mountbellew Moylough, but as the strike comes out towards the middle of the field, let's see who's underneath it. It's a great catch by James Foley. Took it well with pressure coming on. Kick out from Kyle Long, landing about 60 metres out from goal. And on the right hand side, it's Colm Mannion trying to work a yard of space with Barry McHugh. Lovely cultured hands, pops the pass into Paul Donlan. Back out to Mannion. He goes all the way back out again, and Mountbellew will start from scratch with Colin Ryan. Ryan has got over on this left hand side Shane Moran. Moran uses Foley. He's already kicked one off the right, thought about going for it again, but Mountbellew are patient. A little bit of jinking, almost over carrying, but not quite, and in the end the ball is quickly rescued and flicked back out to Matthew Barrett. Barrett trying to get the ball inside, touched on the ground. Patient defending, a lot of numbers back there, Brian. It's very hard, I suppose, for Mountbellew Moylough to try and pick their way through so many bodies. And when it is this slow build-up, it really does give the advantage to the defence.
Absolutely, yeah. Any time you can slow them down as well, it's you did just try to delay and get the numbers back, and they just ran into a bit of traffic there, Mountbellew. But here we go again now.
Claregalway starting from deep inside their own half, but working the ball up towards Darren Hennessy. Bursts his way through a couple of challenges, but is fouled, and all the time referee Austin O'Connell is just taking note of the personal fouls. They normally don't kick in until the second half, and normally it's the final quarter when the yellow cards start being flashed. But in the main, this game has been played in a good spirit so far. Mountbellew look a very physically imposing team as well, don't they?
Very tall, yeah. You can just see them here. I mean, John Daly is just a specimen of a man there. He's pulled out his centre back at the moment, but they're so physically tall. They've been building this for the last number of years as well. Yeah,
they've got a special group of players right now, there's no doubt. And in terms of physique and fitness, there's few to match Mountbellew. They're right up there with Moycullen and the likes of Salthill and Corofin, no doubt about it. Whether Tuam Stars can join the party this year, we'll wait and see. A side who got to the league final. A lot of steps being taken by Billy Mannion. Too many, says the referee. He's very sharp, Austin O'Connell, on a lot of the technical sides of this game.
Absolutely, yeah, he's a very experienced referee.
He's taken charge of a lot of big championship games in County Galway in recent years. As Claregalway work the ball forward, Danny Cummins Little layoff off the ball, a little tangle between Paul Donlan and Mark Rohan, but play goes on over the right-hand touchline. Mountbellew win it back. Try to execute a hand pass, but it's been intercepted back there by Darren Hennessy. And now Claregalway come again. Nice ball inside, but well defended. And Mountbellew now can work it out from deep again. Still really waiting to catch fire this fixture, but it's Mountbellew Moylough with the opening 2 points. Lead by 2-0 inside 10 minutes. And it's the kind of half where Claregalway will feel if they get any score at all, it would be to their advantage. Barry McHugh trying to work a goal opportunity, gets it across, should be back at the net. Absolutely majestic finish by Paul Donlan. Again, the kick pass into Barry McHugh made it.
Yeah.
And that was really training ground stuff.
Oh, absolutely fantastic ball in. I think it was Matthew Barrett's left foot. Something about a left footer kicker, Ollie, when they kick it in, it just makes the rest of us look poor. But brilliant ball in and just absolutely cooked Claregalway to bits. And you know, that's probably the strength of a team, when you can break a team down, get it up the other end of the pitch really quickly. And you know, unfortunately for Claregalway, now they're 1 down. It
was cutthroat from Barry McHugh, wasn't it? He could have tapped over a point very quickly on the initial ball in, but he got the sense that if he held it up, he had the runner coming through the centre, Paul Donlan, and it really was a textbook finish.
Fantastic. And you know, just the first game as well, Jason Leonard was through on goal. He could have popped it over the bar as well, but it just goes to show the calibre of the player that Galway have at club level. McHugh's no different, and Leonard, I know they weren't involved the last number of years with Galway, but Peter Divley looks to be coming off here now, and it looks like Luke Roach is coming on for Divley. Pete, I think he got a belt there for the goal.
Yeah, it's a disappointing conclusion to Peter Divley's championship odyssey, and he shakes the head. He's frustrated. Of course, who'll forget Peter Divley's championship meeting for Claregalway against Milltown last year, where he had to skedaddle early to go and watch his dog running in the Irish Greyhound Derby final. So that must have been a first in the Galway Championship. Another chance for a score for Mountbellew. Over the bar from Leo Donlan. They're starting to stretch it out now.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, the wind as well, you know, they're very dominant. 1-3 to no score. 11 minutes in, it's alarm bells at the moment from Claregalway, I think.
Yeah, I think Claregalway is just going to have to try and dig in here and try and somehow stay on Mountbellew Moylough's shirt tails to the break. But it looks a long way away when just 12 minutes in you find yourself 6 points down. Here's Kyle Long, who decides to go towards the touchline. Good ball. Did very well to get it over towards the run of Brian Connolly. Connolly did well to win that ball, but again Claregalway just making a little bit of heavy work for themselves in the centre of the field. Austin O'Connell has the arm up for advantage, but Claregalway have played through that advantage, and there's a hamstring.
Hennessy.
And that could well be Darren Hennessy finished as well. There could be a chance of a score. It's a brilliant kick. That's dropped inside the uprights. That's a fantastic score from Mark Rohan. An absolutely beautiful strike to gauge the breeze and guide it in from the right-hand side. Well, we saw Darren Hennessy pull up with the hamstring, and unless he's found some miraculous cure in the last couple of seconds, maybe it was just one of those tweaks where he stopped quick enough, Brian, but we'll have to watch this space for the Claregalway midfielder to see if he can continue.
He looked cooked to me anyway, the way he went down holding his hamstring. It looked definitely like a pull or a strain at least anyway, but he seems to be continued. But great shot from Mark Rowan into the breeze. Certainly one that Claregalway needed. 13 minutes in, and they're delighted to get their first score.
Well, straight away as we see Peter Divley join us in the subs bench just to our left hand side, we see he's heavily ice packed on the right hamstring as well. So that's 2 hamstring injuries that Claregalway have suffered in the opening quarter of this championship tie. They trail by 1-3 to a point, and right now missing their centre back and with their midfielder clearly only on half power, they look vulnerable.
Absolutely, yeah. But you know what? It's a great test for Claregalway again against the county champion, or not the county champions, but maybe in 21. But they're so strong that even the bench for these lads to come in and get games against these types of players is going to definitely bring them on.
Unquestionably, plenty of young players on this Claregalway side as well that have a lot of underage success. But this is the big time when you get into senior championship. Mountbellew Moylough starting from the centre of the field again with Mark Mannion.
They're just cruising at the moment. Mountbellew looks like to be in third gear.
Playing within themselves. Billy Mannion can pop up anywhere, wearing 3 but operating largely in that half forward line. Great link player. Picked up a lot of experience as well, being involved with Galway in recent times. The real utility player. Can kick a score when needed as well. No more than this man, Brian Noon.
Going for it.
One that's been dropped in around the house. Oh, it's an absolutely fabulous kick. No, to the right and wide. Looked like it had just taken, but that effort from Colin Ryan going to the right hand side. But yeah, there's a strange atmosphere here in Tuam as well, Brian. I think everybody was so deflated after how easily Corofin beat Salthill Knocknacarra when they came in, I suppose, full of beans that we were going to get a right belter of a Galway championship to start off with. And it kind of let the air out of the tyres early on in the evening, and it seems to have carried over a little into this fixture. Already an air of inevitability about it.
Yeah, absolutely, Ollie. And the first game was definitely with one-way traffic, and maybe the way this is going at the moment now, although they do have the breeze, they certainly look like to be in control here at the moment. It's such a strong team. They've been assembled for the last 4 years. And then you have the likes of Val Daly on the line as well, who's just a very experienced manager. So much inter-county experience from him and the players as well. And I see Owen Finnerty on the line as well. I don't know what he'd be coming in, but they're such, you can see they're physically so big and strong and such well conditioned that it's definitely going to drag them, into the last 4 anyway, I'd say at the moment.
Well, just to clarify the way the Galway Championship is working while we have a stoppage here as well, we have 3 groups in Galway, 2 6s and a 5. This match is part of the 5-team group, which also includes St Michael's and Dunmore McHale's from last night, which Michael's won, and Tuam Stars, who are waiting in the wings. So the quarterfinals will be the top 2 teams in each of the groups, and the best placed 3rd team across the 2 6-team groups. And then the 8th spot will be decided by a playoff between whoever finishes 3rd in this group and the team that finishes 3rd in one of the other 6-team groups. So I suppose best case scenario here, if you're not finishing in the top 2 in this group, your way into the quarterfinals is by winning first a playoff, and then you might end up in the last 8. So there's a lot of football to play. If you lose 2 games in this group and you end up in 3rd spot, there's a foot trip and a free in chance for Claregalway to cut the gap to 4. But Claregalway would be thinking that is attainable, that 3rd spot, Brian. I mean, is that the realistic expectation of Claregalway? If we get 3rd at worst, that will get us a playoff and a chance of getting into the quarterfinals.
Yeah, and even with the other 2 teams, Dunmore will be definitely find their form as the games come in. Senior Championship is a big step up for them. It's the first time in a while. St Michael's have got to the quarterfinal last year as well, so it's a tough group. But the way you're looking at the game is panning out at the moment, it's probably Mountbellew that are probably the strongest at the moment. June probably second, and then probably a toss up between the other couple of teams. But there certainly won't be easy for Michael's, Dunmore and Claregalway to fight it out.
Let's see how that championship pans out, but it is fascinating, the structure. Of course, this year you will have 2 teams relegated from senior to intermediate in Galway, and only 1 team coming back up, the intermediate champion. So that will have us back at 16 teams next year and 4 groups of 4, which of course it would have been going back a decade and a half ago. Foley coming forward from Mountbellew, trying to work it into Barry McHugh. McHugh pops it back again. The marking is slack. McHugh plays the 1-2. Looked like a push. Should have been a free in. Referee gives a touch on the ground.
Got lucky there.
It was a timely nudge from the Claregalway defender in that instance, but they're hanging around, Brian. 1-3 to 2 points. They won't be dissatisfied. It looked like when Moylough got the goal that it could be curtains, but with 17 minutes in, Claregalway are still just 4 points in arrears, and we'll be happy enough with that. The man on co-commentary with me is Brian Donoghue, the former Claregalway and Galway custodian. He played in goals for plenty of years, probably more than you care to remember, Brian, but we were talking beforehand about just the changing face and landscape of championship football. I mean, the game itself is so different now as well to when you started out in the mid-noughties.
Oh, absolutely, Ollie. I think back then you're probably training twice a week or 3 times a week and maybe once or twice at the gym. It certainly was prevalent as it is now. But I think every club team at the moment, if they're serious about it, they're probably doing 2 nights a week strength and conditioning and 3 nights a week on the field as well. So it's gradually catching up. And when you see the changes at inter-county level, they're going to come down at club level sometime as well. And the tactics that the players experience at inter-county level as well, they're going to bring it back to club as well. So it's just the game is changing and being so dynamic that you have to move with it and change with it as well, or else you're just going to get left behind.
Here's Claregalway coming forward, and there's a ball just dropped harmlessly into the goalkeeper's hands from Luke O'Connor. He'll be disappointed with that. I'm sure one of the coaching manual's top tips is whatever you do, put it dead.
Yeah, they're just can attack here so fast, Mountbellew.
And that's the problem. Well, Claregalway now could be caught completely on the counter, as down the right hand side, Colin Mannion toe to hand on the right. The Jerry Mack white boots make him pretty easily identifiable as well. And slowly but surely Mountbellew Moylough just keep control. There's no big panic or rush. it's all very much like Mountbellew Moylough are in control of this fixture. Quick little exchange of passes into Billy Mannion, might go off the right
nice
and kicks
kick.
it beautifully over the bar.
Good
Super
player.
score.
He's a good player, Mannion. He's so physically strong as well. He can kick. So, he's starting wing forward here, number 3 in his back, but fantastic player.
Well, the athleticism is something that we've marked out right from the get-go. I mean, apart from being big lads, they're extremely fit lads, and you could put rugby jerseys on them and they'd fill them out pretty easily as well. So there is definitely a big task for anybody to stop Mountbellew Moylough. Good catch, should have been a mark, but the referee's given a free anyway, as Claregalway trail by 1-4 to 2 points, but will be reasonably satisfied with the way that they've played their way into this game and somehow managed to keep Mountbellew to a manageable tally of 1-4 at the moment. Third of the way through this championship tie. Mountbellew, of course, playing with breeze advantage as well. Let's note that. Claregalway, as the sun comes out again in Tuam Stadium on what's been a chilly but still a decent evening. The prophets of doom were out all week long with a forecast of heavy rain, but thankfully we've avoided that here in Tuam. Nice little run through the centre here from John Paul McLaughlin. Back to Hennessy, just offloads it. Still looks like he's carrying that hamstring a little bit, but
kick it there.
He's getting through it. Danny thought about winding up for a shot. The Danny is Danny Cummins. Umber Galway corner forward. Goes back out the field towards Killian Callan. If nothing else, this is good possession from Claregalway.
They're doing well, and I just think they need to be on the ball a lot more just to settle them into the game. I mean, to be facing a team like Mountbellew for your first game of the championship is going to be daunting, so they just need to feel their way into it. They're doing okay at the moment. Got a free in here now, so.
Yeah, 1 by 1. Austin O'Connell is counting up the fouls against Matthew Barrett, and he decides, enough is enough. And we'll have our first Corta Bui of the Galway Senior Football Championship clash of Claregalway and Mountbellew Moylough. And that yellow card will be issued to the Mountbellew midfielder Matthew Barrett. Free in. Big ask for Danny Cummins to think about kicking this one. He's 40 metres out. Pretty central position, but he's into the teeth of a very, very strong breeze.
Yeah, we've seen Tom O'Culhan miss one from this distance in the first half as well. Our usual free taker for Cummins. I see him there. He's injured, so he'd be usually taking these, but we'll see how Danny goes.
The trick here is to avoid pulling it to the left-hand side with the wind. Danny's going to have to aim it way out to the right. Gets good purchase on it, and it drops over the bar. Well, it was right on the limit.
Yeah.
It grazed the fingernails of the Mountbellew defender on the goal line, but that's a terrific kick to make it 1-4 to 3.
Oh, what a score into that breeze as well. You can't underestimate what the breeze is like out there, Ollie, from the games we've seen so far. Excellent kick by Danny, and gets Claregalway right back into the game.
And it's so much easier to kick the ball from the ground into a wind like that. So to kick it from the hands made it a doubly more important score. So well done to Danny Cummins as Luke O'Connor drives forward. Tried a little dummy there on Barrett and John Daly, but it's again picked up nicely and kicked into the corner from Jack Lonergan. Nicely picked up by Mark Rohan, having a run. Danny outside of the right. This is ambitious. Going to drop in around the house. It's a goal for Claregalway. It's an absolute stunner of a goal.
Brian Connolly.
Keeper Damien Boyle came when he really should have stayed and tried to wrap up the man, but Brian Connolly judged that one perfectly. We're going to have to give the benefit of the doubt to Danny Cummins. Was that a deliberate kick pass across? Was he going for a score?
No, I think in fairness, he's seen him, Brian coming in, he was getting in there unmarked. Fantastic kick by Danny. We just talked about it there, the kick from the breeze. It was inside of the boot for over the bar, but that's a brilliant outside the boot kick. Damien will probably be a bit disappointed with that. He didn't make contact with it at all, but good take by Brian, and gets Claregalway on the scoreboard again for a major. Well,
1-4 to 1-3. Suddenly we have a game on our hands, so it was very much paid dividends for Claregalway to hang around for the last 20 minutes with Mountbellew, who looked to be just cruising. You talked about third gear. It hardly looked like they were out of second.
No.
Now they might have to put on a little burst between now and half time, because if Claregalway can stay within a point between now and half time, it could be a different story. John Daly being pulled by Danny Cummins. The referee is inclined to stop the game, but now plays on because Mountbellew were playing on, and Leo Donlan decides to play on, and right-footed chips a lovely ball across, kicked it from just inside the 45, so no mark. Back it goes towards Colm Mannion, out the field for a shot. This should be a score and is. Good response. What else would you expect from Mountbellew Moylough? Ball brilliantly kicked high and over the bar. Leo Donlan with that one. 1-5 to 1-3. Good response, but still, Claregalway won't be overly worried. That goal has given them breathing space.
Absolutely, and there was a period of play there, Ollie, where they had the ball for maybe 2 or 3 minutes, and it probably gave them a bit more confidence. They were very, very quick on the ball at the start, probably a bit nervous, but that passage of play has definitely settled them down.
Val Daly prowling the sideline. He's got Hilda Daly on the sideline with him. Just with folded arms, keeping a close eye and a little bit of a furrowed brow at Claregalway's insistence that they remain in this fixture. Just 2 points between the teams. 5 minutes to the break. Mountbellew, Moylough just about in the ascendancy, but Claregalway will be quite happy with their positioning. 1-5 to 1-3. The Brian Connolly goal on 23 minutes has given Claregalway some great hope. Nice little kick pass and a great spin. That could be a yellow card here on the back of that foul. Lovely kick pass in from Conor Flaherty. Beautiful balance and spin. Referee takes a little check of the number. But wonderful work from Mark Rohan. That was definitely denying a scoring opportunity. Referees kept the cards in the pocket though. And it will be an opportunity for Barry Goldrick to have a pop at the posts. Not a simple one by any manner of means. He's on the 20-metre line, but midway between the goalpost and the sideline. So this is a tough kick, and he just about guides it inside the right-hand upright. 1-5 to 1-4. Claregalway are visibly growing in confidence.
Yeah, and I said they were missing their free taker, Paul Cummins, but you need the big players like Danny and Barry Goldrick to be kicking those frees when you need them. That's 2 points for Claregalway that they're definitely going to use.
Kick out the middle of the field. Oh, super catch by Matthew Barrett, who just plays on. Eventually the referee says that's going to be a free. Referee was saying there was just pulling and dragging going on all sides. Don't know where he eventually found the mark to take the free from, but I think the initial foul saw a little bit of back chat, and referee is just indicating to Darren Hennessy in particular why he gave the free and why he then subsequently brought it forward to the position where Barry McHugh now has a very kickable shot at the town goals off the right, has one last look around the corner and with unerring accuracy. Yeah. I mean, at club level he's unmatched. As good as there is in the country.
He's unmatched. The quarter-final last year with Corofin was here, Ollie. He was just fantastic right throughout the game. He's an amazing free taker. Remember when he came on the scene with Galway first, he went maybe 3 or 4 games without missing a free. He's been fantastic.
Kick out from Kyle Long, just missed everybody, and in the middle of the field has been picked up by Matthew Barrett, who's fouled again, but this time told to go backwards rather than forwards. He's such a huge figure he is in the middle of the field. He's a monstrous presence in that middle third for Mountbellew Moylough. Mark Mannion, nice little flick out to the right hand side where Colin Mannion has a little jink inside. All very confined, very tight, but Mountbellew just about holding on to possession. Paul Donlan flicking it back out the field as well. It's back with Colin Mannion, recycled to Colin Ryan. It's good football from Mountbellew. They've just gone up a gear in the last couple of moments. Billy Mannion, he's already got one. Barry McHugh going for another one. This one though is not going to take, and it's going to go well out to the right hand side and wide. You could see his intention to try and curl it around, but we're going to have 3 minutes at it. We're into the last 90 seconds or so of normal time, so a bit of football to go here, but if there is to be another score or two in this half, it will be important. Mountbellew leading by 2. If they can stretch that out to 3 or 4, they'll probably still feel comfortable. But if Claregalway can get one back before the break, it would certainly leave Mountbellew with a few things to consider at the break, because they were certainly far more comfortable 15 minutes ago when they led by 5. Here's the kick out from Kyle Long, not really getting much purchase on that, and it's easy for Shane Moran to run onto it as it's held up in the breeze. And this is a big chance for Mountbellew now to get a score. Back it goes to John Daly, should be a point, and Daly makes absolutely no mistake up and over the bar. That just came from a kick out that didn't quite have the penetration to get to that area that they needed to get to, which is probably about 65 metres out from their own goal. And one of those kick outs, Brian, you know them from years, when they're hanging in the breeze and they're almost falling vertically, it's so much easier for the attacking player to run onto.
Yeah, it's a different type of kick out than the other one, but I think Claregalway missed the last 2 kick outs they've got this one, but Mountbellew got 2 shots off goal, one of them a point. They're just so clinical, they don't give you an inch at all.
They lead by 3, 1-7 to 1-4. Claregalway on the back of that kick out from Kyle Long, though, have retained possession, and there's a nice ball from Lonigan to the inside line, but just a little bit too much strength from Colin Murray there to win the ball back. And that's good cornerback play, no question.
I think they switched Murray on Mark Rowan. He was Moylough was picking him up at the start, but looks like to be a switch in there to curtail him, I think.
The dancing feet of Colin Mannion leaves his opponent for dead, and he drives forward looking to try and get it in to Colin Ryan, who flicks it across to John Daly, and in turn on the back of his point he's in confident mood to spray the ball out to Sean Myland. Mountbellew coming, smelling blood, knowing that with 2.5 minutes of stoppage time to go at the end of the first half, they could put proper daylight between themselves and a gutsy Claregalway side who've kept them honest. 1-7 to 1-4 we are. John Daly up along the left hand touchline, just looking to engage in contact, and then just shrugs off the attentions of Luke O'Connor and flicks the ball forward looking for Paul Donlan. Donlan a little bit late in the hit.
Too aggressive there.
Might be getting a card here on the back of that.
Probably no need for it as well. It's virtually in the corner flag position or very close to it anyway. Probably a bit more pressure to put maybe Claregalway down the sideline rather than foul from there. He's getting away with it. But
yeah, Austin O'Connell making a sensible decision there, I think, on the back of what was a reasonably honest effort, albeit ill-timed. Claregalway playing from deep, trailing by 3. Know the importance of one more score before the break. Oh, a huge hit from Foley. Referee in the end then gives the free somewhat harshly to Mountbellew Moylough. I'm not sure there was much that the Claregalway man could do in that instance.
No, I think he got the ball. James Foley just went shoulder to shoulder, completely winded him there, and that's the benefit, the strength and condition that we talked about earlier on. You have these guys that are, it's in the culture of the club, they're just doing it for years. It just, in these games where a big hit like that can turn it. McHugh's a huge distance out here, even for him. I'd say he's about 50 yards out, but we got a good look at it here.
He's got a bit of breeze behind him, and he's a prodigious kicker, so distance shouldn't be an issue. And don't worry, if Barry thinks he can make it, he normally does. Gets a good strike on it. It's going to drop in around the house. Keeper came with the fists. Good work from Kyle Long. It falls nicely for Killian Callahan. Just didn't look like Barry McHugh got the full purchase on that one. Great work from Luke O'Connor out from defence. And ironically, that free given against Claregalway could work to their benefit, because the fact that it's dropped short, it's given them scope to drive forward here now in the counter-attack. Well kept in play on the far side of the field. Ooh, there's a high challenge, and I think at some point Austin O'Connell, the match referee, is going to have to just flash another yellow. He's been as lenient as he possibly can with some challenges, but that one is inexcusable, and we'll have our second yellow of the game. This time it's going to Leo Donlan.
He's let the game flow, in fairness to Austin. He's not pulling for or not giving out yellow cards. It's probably, there's a bit of nervous for both teams for the first round of the championship, but Claregalway on the ball here again.
They've taken it quickly. Referee blows his whistle but has his back turned to the play and eventually realises Claregalway have got on with it. Here's Killian Callan taking it quickly. Oh, a little bit of messing in the middle of the field. Jason Riley loses possession, and this could be costly as Matthew Barrett picks up the ball, switches it quickly over to the left side to James Foley. Is there time, as we've just cranked past the 3 minutes? Last play of the first half. Mountbellew leading by 3, 1-7 to 1-4, and in possession on the halfway line with Shane Moran. Claregalway will be hoping that this doesn't come to anything. That's Colin Mannion. No big pressure on Mountbellew Moylough or panic to get this done, and in the end they ran out of time. Claregalway will be happy enough, I think, Brian Donoghue. They trail by 3 at the break, 1-7 to 1-4.
Absolutely. There's, there isn't any way daylight between the sides at all. It's only a kick of the ball in it. They've had a good, probably middle period of the game. 3 points down at half time, playing with a wind in the second half. I think they'll be reasonably happy with that first half. 1-7 is still good scoring from Mountbellew. Definitely shows the threat that they have. They're so dangerous inside with Barry McHugh when they get the ball into them, but overall, probably a good half of football we've seen so far. Yeah,
Barry McHugh with the key moment of the game as he kicked the ball across for Paul Donlan to slot home Mountbellew's goal. But Claregalway kept going, and their number 10, Brian Connolly, scored a goal on 23 minutes, which brought them right back into the game, and they've stayed on Mountbellew Moylough's coattails since then. And at the interval, only trail by 3. An interesting Galway Senior Football Championship tie is very much in the balance. We're at half time in Tuam Stadium. Mountbellew Moylough 1-7, Claregalway 1-4.
Hi, Paul Bellew, Galway GA chairperson here to tell you about our new fundraiser, Win a Home Galway. For just €100, you could win a brand new sea view apartment in Salt Hill, Galway. Buy a ticket for this life-changing prize and you could be living minutes away from the famous Salt Hill prom while also having Galway City and Connemara on your doorstep. Just think, you could be living mortgage-free here in one of the most famous cities in the world, overlooking Galway Bay. To enter, simply log on to winahomegalway.com and buy your ticket. Thanks for the support and the very best of luck.
Claregalway and Mountbellew Moylough back out on the field for the second half of this Galway Senior Football Championship Round 1 encounter. And they've been pretty evenly matched so far, although we do get the sense, Brian Donoghue, from chatting here at half-time, that a lot of people here in Tuam Stadium get the feeling that Mountbellew Moylough have a bit more in the tank if they really wanted to express themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. They certainly look maybe to be operating in third gear towards most of the first half. Claregalway done well to get back. Got a great goal from Brian Connolly, great ball in from Danny Cummins. There's 3 points in it now. There's a bit of a breeze that will favour Claregalway. It probably looks like more than a bit of a breeze, even though it's still died down. But the second half's going to be very interesting here now, Ollie.
Of course, last year, Mountbellew Moylough had round-robin victories in the groups over Anadown, Carharua, Barna, St James's and Salthill, Knocknacarra. They put up a big score of 8-87, so they really were hitting goals and points for fun. And this man was contributing most of them, Barry McHugh. So the group stages were very profitable for Mountbellew Moylough last year. Let's see what happens this time around.
Great ball in there from Barrett again, lovely kick into McHugh for the mark.
Well, we've been watching the replays of the kick pass as Barry McHugh taps that one over the bar for the Mountbellew Moylough goal. And in fairness, the two goals were created by two extraordinary kick passes.
Yeah, fantastic. We're just, as you said there at half time, brilliant ball in from Barrett, split two defenders. And in fairness to Barry McHugh, he still had a lot of work to do to kick the ball across. Resulted in an excellent goal. Danny's kick pass was excellent as well, but Mountbellew in here.
2 goals and 48 points for Barry McHugh in the 2022 championship.
Not bad.
I'm sure he'll be well on his way towards putting a down payment on that today, as he's kicked the first one of the second half, 1-8 to 1-4, and I'm sure Claregalway would have been well aware that Mountbellew Moylough were going to come out of the traps very, very quickly in the second half, and they needed to try and withstand the pressure of these first few minutes. The referee might be inclined to stop the game here. There is a stoppage, and you could see Mountbellew's midfielder Matthew Barrett is getting some attention, but the play has kind of avoided him and gone around him, and he's now back on his feet, so we're good to continue. Mountbellew by 4, 1-8 to 1-4 on a breezy evening at Tuam Stadium, but thankfully an evening that has remained dry. We've had the odd little burst of sunshine as well, but it's far from sunny weather. Very, very cold conditions here, and far from July weather, with the Galway races just around the corner. Colin Mannion, nice ball back to Barrett, who seems to have overcome that little niggle from a couple of moments ago. Mark Mannion comes in to support. A lot of steps from Barry McHugh, but referee says play on as he gets it off towards Leo Donlan. Colin Ryan coming in to support, shrugs off the attentions of Danny Cummins and can work the ball down the left-hand channel through the hands as Brian Noon switches it over to Sean Myland. A lot of Mountbellew Moylough players getting their hands on the ball in this move. It's patient football. Claregalway, though, they're not chasing too many shadows. They're just holding back. They've got their structure. Their manager, John Fitzmaurice, done a lot of good work with this side. Again, Mountbellew Moylough probing, hoping to try and get an opening. Here comes the killer kick pass into the middle, and the shot off the right. Is that going to take? No, just to the right hand side and wide. But patient play from Mountbellew Moylough. There must have been the guts of 20 kick passes there, Brian, before eventually the shot came in.
Yeah, extremely patient, and they worked the ball into very good scoring position as well. The shot was good, it was just a couple of inches wide, but just so dangerous there as well. Claregalway lost the kick out, and they had the ball for about 3 or 4 minutes and then got a shot off, so incredibly dangerous when they get the football.
Conor Flaherty, again, a
right
late
ankle,
lunge,
is it?
and well, I think the referee is just going to have a word with linesman Martin Collins there as well. But I think that Conor Flaherty might do well to avoid getting censure for that particular challenge. Just like the first half, he almost came off worse himself in that instance, but the ref is happy enough to award the free to Mountbellew Moylough and to carry on.
Yeah, he's probably just lacking a bit of match sharpness. He was in America playing hurling and football for the summer, and I can't imagine the step up between a team like Mountbellew. He probably wouldn't have met any of those guys, this team, those type of players out there. So I think he's just struggling with the step up at the moment, but he should be fine as we get into the run of group games.
Well, I suppose the plus point for Claregalway is it might get a little bit easier from here, but not much in terms of the championship. Some big teams there.
No easy games here, that's for sure.
There certainly isn't any easy games in the Galway Senior Football Championship. And for Claregalway, next up they've got to meet Tuam Stars, so That's another big fixture for them. They'll have a week off in round 3 before their final 2 games. We'll see them play St. Michael's and then Dromore McHale's in the final round. How important a game that might be for both of these sides in a different context.
Just see there, Ollie, young Jack Lanigan there, he's number 27, he's 18 years old, he was the minor captain. He's come in today for his championship debut. He's done very well so far. He's been excellent in the ball, and he's got the turnover there as well, so good to see the young lad coming out there and making himself known against a very experienced team like Mountbellew.
Well, what a memorable campaign he had, Jack Lanigan and the rest of those Galway minors in 2022. There's plenty of table quiz aficionados that will always know about the side that lost 3 championship matches in the 1 year and still won the All-Ireland. 2 of those defeats were at the hands of Mayo, but it was the third one that mattered, and that was the All-Ireland decider itself, where Jack Lanigan got to captain Galway and lift the trophy in Hyde Park after that victory. Well, here he is making the step up from under 17 to senior football. It is a huge step up, but he has blended in well.
You learn a lot when you're coming up against these players as well. Straight in your debut, you can carry this experience along for so many years as well.
Matthew Barrett, again, just a massive figure from Mountbellew Moylough. John Daly likewise timed the hand pass to perfection. Beautiful move, lovely ball worked out to McHugh in traffic, pops it out, such quick hands, lovely little jink, sprayed out to the right hand side. Opportunity for Colin Ryan. Beautiful shot up and over the bar. There was a touch of class about that score, Brian.
Especially, John Daly's hand pass there went about 20-25 yards, and the long hand pass versus the kick pass. I mean, I'm a huge fan of the long hand pass. It can take so many players out of the game. You don't get a chance to drop the ball down to your boot and kick it when there's so much traffic around, and straight into the hand. Like Ian Burke got one last year, or this year against Roscommon, put a lovely hand pass over the bar as well. But Daly's just such a skillful player. But more daylight coming between the team now, like 5 points in it.
1-9 to 1-4, and it does feel like death by 1,000 cuts for Claregalway. But Mountbellew Moylough, slowly but surely, just expanding their lead. Though that was a hand pass that was ill-judged. Claregalway trying to play it out short. Mountbellew really can put the afterburners on here now and work a yard of space. Such quick hands from all of these players. A beautiful outside of the right kick pass, man on the shoulder, should be a score. Foley trying to get it onto the right, and that's just another very simple and brilliant score for Mountbellew Moylough. The pace at which they do things, it's not like a tap that you can turn form on and off, but there is a sense with this Mountbellew Moylough team that on any given signal they really do up the ante in terms of the pace of play, the pressure they put on the opposition, and on that occasion they just squeezed the life out of Claregalway, who just played themselves into a bit of trouble on the kick out. And now it's 1-10 to 1-4, and it's back to the point where Claregalway probably need a goal to kickstart a revival again. Yeah, they definitely need something to come here now. There's probably a lot more daylight coming here, but it just shows, they coughed up a kick out there, a hand pass from a kick out inside the 45. Mountbellew got the shot off probably within maybe 15-20 seconds. Just no room for Claregalway to move at all. Between Corofin and Mountbellew, they're just so clinical when you cough the ball up to them. Top teams practice that, don't they, Brian? They do on the stopwatch. Absolutely, yeah. You're not giving teams the chance to come up for air at all, and it just completely demoralises a negative turnover and your negative score straight away as well. So when they have the review for the stats on Tuesday night, I'm sure that'll be one that they're going to bring up. Claregalway, though, one thing we do know is you can't question their attitude. They will keep going, although they would love to have added to their scoreline since half-time. That occasion it was 1-7 to 1-4. Mountbellew Moylough, though, have added 3. Claregalway have yet to score, and they've got whatever breeze advantages here, and they need to start making it count now pretty quickly. A real scramble over there before eventually John Paul McLaughlin took it out of traffic and found his midfield colleague Darren Hennessy, bringing Killian Callahan into the play. He's going the Mo Girach. This will be a mark if it's caught, but no, it bounces first and then won by Mark Rohan. Not quite a mark, but it went to Mark. Ball gone to ground. Is that a little push? It is. And a free in for Claregalway, and a chance for them, and perhaps Conor Flaherty to have a pop at the posts here. They will need to get everything pretty much, won't they, Brian, in this second half? Oh yeah, absolutely. There's no room for it at all. I mean, there's 6 points, so hopefully this can bring it back to 5 for Claregalway. But just interesting, Folly, I think Billy Mannion was probably up towards the opposition 45 in the first half, kicked the grey point. He's marking Conor Flaherty now on the edge of the square. They probably know that's the main threat, a long ball in.
So there's two fine men on each other there now, and definitely going to be a test to Conor to get one over Billy Mannion.
Barry Goldrick with the free. Barry Goldrick with the point. 110 to 1-5. And when Mountbellew switch around their personnel to get the matchups right, Claregalway remain their plucky selves and will keep going, keep being honest. I'm sure even within their own minds, they'll be looking to try and get to double figures on the points. Referee could have played advantage, but decides to give the free.
Good ball in.
Claregalway playing on, and I think, well, give the referee some credit. He may just say that free was taken from the wrong spot, but he wants to find out who the Mountbellew player was. We know that it's Mark Mannion, and there'll be a yellow card issued here on the back of that, especially
Foley, was it?
Given that he stopped the opportunity. So Mark Mannion gets the yellow. Could have played on. It was a good quick free, and there was a potential there for a score, but I guess the nature of the challenge, the match referee felt he was always going to stop the play and admonish the Mountbellew man. And probably rightfully so, given that Jason Riley is still getting some attention. He was brave going for that one.
Yeah, he's very brave. It was almost a pick off the ground, but I think the challenge came in. But he was brave, all right. But he's a worse for wears for it now at the moment. But I think see how it goes. He looks like to be getting back to his feet now. No, he's still down.
It's caused a stoppage in play here. Well, for a July fixture, I've never seen so many woolly hats in the crowd and on the sideline.
My one's at home, Ollie. I should have brought it. I was going to bring the skins or the Under Armour or the long johns or something, but it's definitely closing in here. We're not getting the weather that Southern Europe is getting.
You won't get caught in round 2, Brian, I suspect, in a couple of weeks' time. You're going to come fully togged. But it is very, very cold.
God knows what the weather could be like in 2 weeks.
It's hard to guess, but here...
At least we're feeling what the players are feeling anyway out there.
Jason Riley, yeah, that's the thing. I mean, you wouldn't want to be on the ground for too long on an evening like this. Free to Danny Cummins, taken quickly. Oh, not exactly to plan, but it very well won by Mark Rowan. Back it goes, infield towards Barry Goldrick. Shot from Flaherty from outside. The 20-metre line goes way out to the right and wide, and an opportunity. Just hasn't really fallen for Conor Flaherty today yet. You mentioned the fact he was in America and is just back. Of course, Jack Clint to come back yet. That'll be a big addition for the next round as well. Who else have Claregalway to bring into the side?
I'm not sure what the situation with Conor Campbell's shoulder. I know he was injured, so he'd be probably a big loss if he's out for the year. Nathan Granger's in the States as well. So, between Nathan being involved in the FBD League panel this year and done so well with GMIT, and Jack Lynn, there'll be two players to make a huge impact. But
Barry, well, just about takes the mark, but then played on and might get pulled here for overcarrying, but does well to get it back to Ryan. Ryan in turn towards Mannion. Mannion gets it back out the field looking for Leo Donlan. Donlan switches it over beautifully to the far side to James Foley. Might think about a pop at the post here, but no, runs into traffic, turns around, flicks it back to Barry McHugh. Again, very patient from Mountbellew. Bit of a Gary Owen in around the edge of the 14-yard line, but some
Hennessy.
take.
Good take, Darren Hennessy.
Well, that was a brilliant piece of play in traffic, and then the ball kicked up to Flaherty. Just has a bit too much pressure put on him by Billy Mannion, but Claregalway turn it over, and here's now
1-on-1 inside,
a 3-on-3 situation. If the ball can be offloaded by Jason Riley, jinking, goes to ground, gets up, touches it on the ground. A little bit unlucky, I think we could say, in that instance. Should have been a point.
Yeah, kind of looked like it bounced into him, but he definitely had the ball on the ground. But I think he stumbled with the kick pass was probably on, or the hand pass to put it across. Maybe took a bit too much out of it, but unfortunate for Claregalway. But just down there, the movement there inside by Barry McHugh is amazing, and he's shown for the ball every time. He nearly could have taken a mark, but a fantastic catch over his head. He's just off the ground from his hands and his movement. He's just so dangerous player, and to be going up against.
Mountbellew Moylough remain 110 to 1-5 in front, and in a pretty comfortable position as Colin Mannion comes forward. Conor Flaherty dancing in front of him, trying to put a bit of pressure on, but Claregalway are more inclined to drop deep, put up that blanket. On the left hand side, Shane Moran making inroads down the left flank, but Mountbellew Moylough decide to hold possession. Paul Donlan outside the 45. Flick out towards Brian Noon to John Daly. Just nice and simple. Could have called a mark there, but in the end, Paul Donlan decides to play on, having a run at Matthew Kilgallen. Coming in along the in-line, might go for a punch point here. He might go for more than that. It's played across. Now the referee has a decision to make. He's going to ask the umpires, was James Foley standing inside the 6-yard line before the hand pass? He may well have been.
Yeah, it looked like a goal to me, Ollie. I think he ran into it. He seemed to dive anyway, but if this is in, it's probably lights.
Yeah, it's a goal. I think your first instinct was right. Yeah. That Foley came from outside. Ball just hung in the air for half a second. And again, it's a clinical finish, which pretty much puts the game to bed.
Oh yeah, and when a defender or when the forward's coming in at that angle, great kick. When the forward's coming in at that angle, it's when you try to go to meet him as a defender, as a goalkeeper, the guy at the back post is just such the most dangerous person. He can hand pass the ball across the goal. It's an empty net, and it's a skill well executed there by Mountbellew.
2:10 to 1-5 into the final quarter. There's only one team going to kick for home now, and that's the men in black and amber. Ball easily intercepted there by Cullen Mannion, and you just get the sense now that the air might have been let out of the Claregalway tyres in that instance, and this could be a cakewalk from here to the finish as Paul Donlan runs in on goal.
Tackle.
Play on, great tackle, chance of a goal. Barry McHugh takes too many steps, and a somewhat ironic cheer from the Claregalway fans that McHugh butchered that opportunity but definitely overcarried the ball, albeit looking at the whites of the eyes of Kyle Long in the Claregalway goal. Bit of a let off for Claregalway. Maybe they'll just throw caution to the wind now and try and get a couple of scores to get back into this game. Good work from Luke O'Connor, just been tugged back and eventually gets his free. The foul committed by Colin Ryan.
Yeah, Claregalway need someone inside to deliver the ball into. They don't have anyone there at the moment. I think Connor's coming off here, but certainly if you look there now, I think Mark Rowan's inside. You want to get a goal here, you want to create something. Jack Mullen is coming along here, another good underage player of Claregalway, fine strong lad. He's only about 18 or 19, so hopefully he can give Claregalway something on the edge of the square.
Well, there's a world of difference between where the likes of Jack Mullen is at in his senior club career and the experienced players like John Daly that are out there. Danny Cummins bombs one in around the house, but again, nobody in there, and that's a bit of a waste.
Yeah, a bit of a waste. No, John Daly's a big guy. He's probably going to make contact with it anyway, but certainly from that distance, you'd expect someone at least to put pressure on the ball when it drops in there, or maybe take it. But looks like Claregalway maybe it might be running out of ideas a small bit, Ollie, I think.
Ger Donoghue waiting to come into the Mountbellew Moylough team in the next couple of moments as well. They'll ring the changes in the last few minutes, I'm sure. But wherever you are watching this fixture around the world, if you're Mountbellew Moylough in your blood, you'll be pretty satisfied that your side are going to get the championship off to a winning start. 2:10 to 1-5 they lead. They're in a pretty comfortable position at the moment. Matthew Barrett, John Daly, two prominent central players, but just a little bit too casual in that instance as the ball has been given away.
More positive now from Claregalway.
A little one-on-one scenario, but in the end Mark Rohan just didn't gather the ball at the first time of asking, and when the ball evaded him, there was never going to be a free. Mountbellew had numbers scrambling back to avert the danger, but a half chance for Claregalway in that instance.
Yeah, and it was a good kick in by Danny, probably medium risk, probably high reward if we got it, but I think Rohan probably should have held on to it there. But then again, it's easier to say here the conditions are poor, but Claregalway win the ball back around the attack here again.
And Claregalway taking a couple of heavy hits, but still holding on to the ball. Possession with Dara Whelan coming out from the back. Long ball in again. There's an opportunity again for Mark Rohan. A free says a slap went in. That'll be a free in, and an opportunity for Claregalway to add to their tally. Here comes Ger Donoghue into the game as well.
I think Claregalway seem to be a bit more threatening if they can isolate one-on-one inside between either Mark Rowan or Jack Lonergan there. But certainly it seems that a long ball in will certainly break down the Mountbellew defence when they're packed up. But I think they're just relying on turnovers now from Mountbellew inside their own half and a quick transition to get the ball down the other end of the pitch, which is what they've done. But we still have to kick. Danny still has to kick this free over.
Well, the game is very much petering out here at 2:10 to 1:5. Some of the crowd starting to leave, especially those that were in for the early game, where Corofin were just far too strong, beating Salthill Knocknacarra by 13 points in a very much a one-sided fixture. 3-10 on the board for Corofin, 6 points for Salthill. Danny Cummins taps that one over the bar, so that brings it back to 2:10 to 1-6. And that substitution just being called out by the PA here. Claregalway doing a little bit of a derry on it, with Kyle Long operating about 50 yards from his own goal in an effort to be a sweeper, but Mountbellew Moylough don't fall for that. They go short with the kick out, retain possession, and like any experienced team, when you have a lead like this, Brian, the key is just to kill the clock and hold possession for a couple of minutes at a time. And it's very difficult. It just sucks the life out of a fixture.
Oh, absolutely, and it sucks the life out of the opposition as well. You'll get demoralised very quickly. You'll have to work twice as hard to get the ball. But they're 7 points up now, and they're very cagey. Here's long ball in.
Again, the target on that inside line is Barry McHugh, but on this occasion he's well and truly beaten to it by Dara Whelan. Come on, Wheelo is the shout from the camp down to our left-hand side. Inside the last 9 minutes then, Danny Cummins, lovely spin, still going. Is there a score? No, Danny sprays it out to the right-hand side and wide. It was an opportunity, and some points are worth more than just a single point. That would have been one because of the turnover from Dara Whelan.
Absolutely, yeah, it would have been a very negative for Mountbellew, but a positive for Claregalway. But you need to be getting those scores to keep the scoreboard ticking over while the opposition are so far ahead, and then hope for something towards the end. But no more than the chances they've missed, and in the first half in the second half into that goal, it's just one they need to convert. But Mountbellew is still clearly on top here.
And it's Mountbellew who restarts with Damien Boyle. Ball breaks around the touchline. Last touches off the Mountbellew man. That'll be a line ball to Luke O'Connor and Claregalway, taken quickly to Jason Riley, coming up along the left-hand channel, runs into a challenge. Not a whole pile John Daly could do, and still, despite their position, John Daly is protesting that decision, feeling that he didn't do anything wrong. In truth, he didn't, but I think this human nature comes into play when a team is 7 points behind, and referees do tend to give the odd softish free. Still, Daly questions it. Like, he's so competitive.
He's not happy about it at all. It's great to see, even when you're 7 points up, that you have a guy like that'll fight for everything.
Danny Cummins just to the right hand side and wide. If anything, it was over the post, which even in Hawkeye terms is still a kneel. So disappointment there as Danny's effort is missed. And Claregalway remains 7 back at 2:10 to 1-6. Another change coming here as Patrick Kelly comes in from Mountbellew Moylough. Little tap of the hands as they make the switch. The man coming off is Sean Myland. Well, Daly gives him a quick shake of the hands, and we get underway with another kick out, bouncing around the middle of the field. Shane Moran picking it up from Mountbellew. Back to Matthew Barrett. In turn to James Foley. And Mountbellew can slowly but steadily play their way out of their own half. Billy Mannion. Again, some strong challenges going in there from Jack Lonergan. Mountbellew hold on to the ball. Barry McHugh did really well to pull that one out of the sky, and then rounds his man, coming in along the end line. Beautiful ball back out towards Leo Donlan. His efforts, though, half blocked down. Claregalway doing very well.
It's interesting, when McHugh won the ball there, Ollie, there was a Mountbellew player, I think it was number 20, Jordan, who was actually hugging the end line. So when McHugh would come towards the goal, he could go into the back post like they got the goal. Very intelligent player, played to be doing that stuff, because the opposition just can't see it at all. All eyes is on the attacker.
Mountbellew have every trick in the book, no question. And that's going back over the last 4 or 5 years of them being very, very competitive in the Galway Championship, winning one, and who's to say they won't win another. Opportunity for Brian Connolly, the Claregalway goal scorer, to try and play his way into a dangerous area. Dramatic looking fall leads to a free in for Claregalway, but again, Claregalway need a little bit more than a free out near the touchline as we're into the last 6 minutes of play here. A small bit of a stoppage here now as well, but there's no doubt this game has probably had its conclusion written since Mountbellew got the second goal, and this will bring the curtain down on the first weekend of round robin club championship action in Galway. Next weekend out west it's going to be the hurling championship that takes centre stage, and then we're back in 2 weeks' time with the next round of club football games and some really interesting matches to look forward to in round 2 as well. Not just in this group where it's Tuam Stars, Claregalway and Mountbellew Moylough against St Michael's. In Group A, Moycullen, their next challenge will be from St James's, who came from behind to beat Annadown today. Milltown take on Spithale, and Annadown meet Letchermore. That's in Group A. And in Group B, Salthill will look to bounce back from their defeat to Currafin with a match against Carlastrand. Currafin themselves play Killannon, and Barna take on Oughterard. So 8 more games to look forward to in 2 weeks' time. That's the weekend of August the 13th. Here's the Claregalway free, which has dropped out to the left-hand side and wide, and just got a little bit disappointing now for Claregalway. Just 2 points in the second half, Ryan.
Yeah, they're fading out here now as well, and they're lying on freeze, but I think the difference probably here today for me is, just Mountbellew are just that far ahead, and it's a great challenge for Claregalway to come up against it, but when you have a guy like the inside forward like Barry McHugh and so strong around the middle, it's going to be a challenge, but it's a good run out for them. Good kick.
Davy Boyle goes long, trying to keep it in play over there. It's Shane Moran, who does really well. In the end, it's a brilliant kick out and a good bit of work from Mountbellew Moylough to hold possession and work it back through the hands. John Daly firing it out the far side towards James Foley. How many times have they linked up during the course of this Galway Club Football Championship encounter? The new man in is Patrick Kelly, trying to work it into a yard of space. Close to the shadow of the scoreboard. Foley still holding on to the ball, plays it back out to Daly. How quickly he's got into an advanced position. Back to Foley, needs to work a hand pass back into a man in a better position. That is Barry McHugh, half blocked down. It's going to drop into the goalkeeper's hands. And Kyle Long can confidently and calmly play the ball out through the hands. Luke O'Connor still burrowing his way forward, doing really well.
He's done well, yeah.
He's had a good game.
He's done well. He's a fantastic talent, Luke. He reminds me of probably young Keith Higgins playing. So versatile, so tenacious. I think he's only 19 this year as well, so he's got a great future ahead of him. Very good footballer, and his attitude is fantastic as well.
Definitely a hint of the Ryan McMinimans about him as well. He's got that stature, and
we'll take that.
Be nice to drive forward. Again, referee inclined to give the decision to the Claregalway man out in front, Mark Rohan. He's battled hard in there trying to win ball.
He's battled very hard, Mark. Himself and Jack Lanner are going to work well, but this is probably the third or fourth free Claregalway have. You'd imagine Danny'd slot this over.
He goes for it off the right and pulls it to the left and wide.
I think we talked about McHugh. Just he's unmatched in free taking, and I think maybe 3 or 4 frees. If you can be getting those every game, and being relying on a free taker that can do that. I know Pádraig Cummins is unavailable today, but an extra couple of points for Claregalway. It's 1-9 to 2-10 going into the last few minutes. It'll make it a bit more exciting, a bit more competitive. But when you can nail those frees, it's you don't really have a hope, I think.
Well, even at club level, Brian, it's all about statistics now, isn't it? And I think when you're in free taking, you really have to be into the 90s in terms of percentage return for anything inside the D to be thinking about being competitive at this level.
Absolutely, because the other metric is most teams use all these kickouts as well, so when the ball goes wide from the free or over the bar, the opposition have play straight away. So if you can't nail the free, the opposition have the kick out, they win it, and they could win it maybe 50-60 yards up the pitch. It's completely destroys the team from that point of view. But a little bit more of a fight now in Claregalway. But
Austin O'Connell has had enough as well of John Daly's mouthing. He said, right, enough is enough. Yellow card, and in fact it's a black card.
He must have said something.
For giving out,
Unless he pulled him down, or no, I don't think so.
It's for lip, and that's one of the black card offences. So it's okay having a conversation with the referee, but you can take it too far, and on this occasion it won't have any bearing whatsoever as the free is dropped in and over the bar. But again, just that competitive nature of John Daly.
He doesn't let anything go, you know. He's doesn't let anything go, and it's great to see you're kind of on the edge like that. But he's just such a competitive player. Probably the game isn't going to make much of a difference now, but he doesn't give an inch.
Well, with 10 minutes in the sin bin, we're certainly not going to get 10 minutes of injury time for him to get back on. So Mountbellew will play out the last few moments of this game with 14 men. 2-10 to 1-7. I suppose it's in a moment like this that you think about those 3 missed frees and think, wow, if Claregalway missed a trick here, now there's no guarantee that Mountbellew wouldn't have upped the ante and gone up the field anyway, but nonetheless.
It's just so important, you know, 1-7 in a day like today where the wind, it's always going to be a challenge, but if you're up around 110, you know, the team is 4 points ahead of you, Daly's gone off, you're down to 14 men, you know, anything can happen in the last few minutes of the game as well. So it's just the need for a free taker and to be slotting those kicks and to keep your team in competition is very important. I think Darren Hennessy's gone with a black card as well for Claregalway, so 14 on 14 for the last few minutes.
That's evened that up. Not that it mattered a whole pile. We have a minute of the stoppage time added. There was nothing mentioned just yet from the sideline. 3 to be added on, so we're coming close towards the end of that. Brian Moran, of course, the coach of Claregalway, down on the sideline as well, with John Fitzmaurice. And Claregalway have turned this one over. Danny Cummins, nice little hand pass in. Is there a late flurry? Well, they go for a point again as the ball is driven high up and beautifully over the bar. Good strike.
Kick, Jack Mullen, yeah, he's an excellent talent. He's another left footer as well. There's something about them, they're easier on the eye, but he's done well there now since he's come in. He's only about 19-20 as well, so good to see.
Makes it 2-10 to 1-8. Most probably too little too late, but nonetheless it's encouraging to see Claregalway playing it out to the finish. 14v14 on the back of those 2 black cards late on, and if nothing else it will give some encouragement to Claregalway ahead of their next round fixture. Breaking ball won by Leo Donlan, but half blocked down. Claregalway win it back. There's a little bit of an uneasy urge as Jack Mullen tries to get out there in front of Billy Mannion, but at the very least forces the Mountbellew man to punch it out the field, and Claregalway win it back. Is there another score to pull it back to 4 points? Mullen thought about a little jink, almost Rob Finnerty-like, but on that occasion he's just out-muscled.
Yeah, with experience as well. Mannion is so strong on the ball like that, and just push him off so easily.
So Mountbellew Moylough looking to play out the last few moments of this game, safe in the knowledge that they'll be top of the table and they'll have their 2 points in the bag. St Michael's won by 3 last night, so anything in excess of that will have Mountbellew on top of the table. They win a free, and this will be an opportunity, I'm sure, for Barry McHugh to take his time, stroll over and have a pop at the posts with this one from close to the sideline. We're at the point now where the match referee has the discretion as to when to blow the final whistle, so this may well be the final play of the day. Who are the standout players for you, Brian, today?
Probably, I think this man on the ball here, Barry McHugh, he's been excellent in the full forward line. His hands are fantastic. I think he probably could have won 3 marks. He called 2 of them anyway. His movement is fantastic, but I think Matthew Barrett has been excellent as well. The ball into Barry McHugh has been excellent. Fantastic left foot. Very big guy, hasn't won massive amount of kickouts but competed very well, but I think they're probably the 2 for the moment. Barry Goldrick for Claregalway was doing well. Danny Cummins has fought hard into the game, but what a kick. That's a brilliant score. If
there was any doubt about man of the match, maybe that one has just swung it to Barry McHugh.
Fantastic.
And that will be the last act. 2-11 to 1-8. An absolutely brilliant kick. Referee decides enough is enough. 6-point win for Mountbellew Moylough. That's just about right. They did so comfortably and well within themselves without ever stretching themselves to the limit. Mountbellew Moylough have also laid down an early marker. Job done, nobody getting too excited, the handshakes all around, and I think both of these sides came into this game with expectations that played out on the scoreboard. Mountbellew Moylough off to a winning start. The final scoreline from Tuam Stadium in the Galway Senior Football Championship. Mountbellew Moylough 2-11, Claregalway 1-8.
Hi, Paul Bellew, Galway GA chairperson here to tell you about our new fundraiser, Win a Home Galway. For just €100 you could win a brand new sea view apartment in Salt Hill, Galway. Buy a ticket for this life-changing prize and you could be living minutes away from the famous Salt Hill prom while also having Galway City and Connemara on your doorstep. Just think, you could be living mortgage-free here in one of the most famous cities in the world, overlooking Galway Bay. To enter, simply log on to winahomegalway.com and buy your ticket. Thanks for the support and the very best of luck.
Foley outside him, goes for an ambitious effort from distance.
Great score.
Oh, it's a super score. Go on Hyde Park forevermore. But Barry made great use of that strike. Comes out towards the middle of the field. Let's see who's underneath it. It's a great catch by James. Lead by 2-0 inside 10 minutes. And it's the kind of half where Claregalway will feel if they get any score at all, it would be to their advantage. Barry McHugh trying to work a goal opportunity, gets it across, should be back of the net. Absolutely majestic. And watch his dog running in the Irish Greyhound Derby final. So that must have been a first in the Galway Championship. Another chance for a score for Mountbellew. And that could well be Darren Hennessy finished as well. It could be a chance of a score. It's a brilliant kick. That's dropped inside the uprights. That's a fantastic score.
And so it's a tough group, but the way you're looking at the game is panning out at the moment, it's probably
Mountbellew trying to work it into Barry McHugh. McHugh pops it back again. The marking is slack. McHugh plays the 1-2. Looked like a push. Should have been a free in. Referee gives a touch of this fixture. Quick little exchange of passes into Billy Mannion. Might go off the right and kicks it beautifully over the bar. To avoid pulling it to the left hand side with the wind, Danny's going to have to aim it way out to the right. Gets good purchase on it and it drops over the bar. Well, it was right on. Again, picked up nicely. It kicked into the corner from Jack Lonergan. Nicely picked up by Mark Rowan, having a run. Danny outside of the right. This is ambitious. Going to drop in around the house. It's a goal for Claregalway. It's an absolute. So no mark. Back it goes towards Colm Mannion. Out the field for a shot. This should be a score and is. Good response. What else would you expect from Val Daly prowling the sideline? He's got in the Daly on the goalpost and the sideline. So this is a tough kick. And he just about guides it inside around the corner and with unerring accuracy. I mean, a chance from Mountbellew now to get a score. Back it goes to John Daly. Should be a point. And Daly makes absolutely no mistake up and over the bar. Well, we've been watching the replays of the kick pass. Sprayed out to the right hand side. Opportunity for Colin Ryan. Beautiful shot up and over the bar. Kick pass, man on the shoulder. Should be a score. Foley trying to get it onto the right. And that's just another very simple and brilliant score from Mountbellew.
Definitely going to be a test of Connor to get one over Billy Mannion.
Barry Goldrick with the free. They'll be looking to try and get to double figures on the points. Gallen coming in along the in line, might go for a punch point here. He might go for more than that. It's played across. Now the referee has a decision to make. Very much a one-sided fixture. 3-10 on the board for Corofin. Okay, having a conversation with the referee, but you can take it too far, and on this occasion it won't have any bearing whatsoever as the free is dropped in and over the bar. Danny Cummins, nice little hand pass in. Is there a late flurry? Well, they go for a point again as the ball is driven high up and beautifully over the bar.
Danny Cummins has fought hard into the game, but what a kick.
And I think both of these sides came into this game with expectations that played out on the scoreboard. Mountbellew Moylough off to a winning start. The final scoreline from Tuam Stadium in the Galway Senior Football Championship. Mountbellew Moylough 2-11, Claregalway 1-8.